So one of the questions are, what are the signs or symptoms of addiction? So we can go into depth, but for this one, I want to keep it very, very surface level. And we call it the sniff test. If it doesn't sound right, if it doesn't seem right, if it doesn't smell right, listen to your gut. So early stages of addiction, a person will start to change stories. They'll start to cover things up. And this is where we just want to focus on the behavior because deflection is one of the first things that we start to see early in addiction. What I mean by that is if you say, "Hey, where were you?" and a person says, "Well, you're never on time." We want to get back to what is the issue. If there's constant late, hey, what is a way where you can show up on time and keep this commitment because I've scheduled this time for us? If it continues to go on and on and on, and you think there's something going on with addiction, that's called the sniff test, and that's where you want to further investigate. Again, it doesn't mean if a person's late that they're deep in their addiction, but a lot of the times you start to see the signs, and on the backside, meaning once everything comes to light, on the backside, almost every single time a person goes, "Oh, okay, I saw that. It just something kind of seemed off. I wasn't sure what it was." So those are the things that we want to start to look for. Number two is how to talk to a loved one about addiction. Be honest. I call it external processing. We want to look at how we're being affected. And one of the tools that works very well is not necessarily being accusatory, but letting a person know whatever the behavior is. Let's say they tend to nod off when you're together. So one of the conversations would be, I'm feeling very disconnected from you. I find that when I'm with you, I want to be with you. I want you to be present. And I notice you keep nodding off. And I wanted to see what's going on. What's that about? So here's where typically one of two things happen. Either the person starts to use blame or deflection as a tool of manipulation. Well, you never, well, these people, well, you're always on. And that's where we just want to take a step back. Look, I'm not coming at you. I'm sharing with you what I'm observing and also what I'm wanting. Are you able to meet this? So we actually go in depth on training families, the loved ones as well here in our program. But how to talk to a loved one about addiction is just share from the heart what your concerns are. We want to not necessarily engage in blame or shame or guilt or finger pointing. Think about it this way. Here's what I like to use for myself. Do I like when people point stuff out about myself that I can't stand about myself? No. But if they come from a place of love and share where they feel disconnected or where they're hurting in relation to their relationship with me, I'm able to hear that. So, number one is creating a safe space. Number two is not necessarily walking on eggshells, but to share what your experience is, how you feel about it, how it's negatively affecting you. You start getting clear on what you are wanting and you can set boundaries. And it's only once you start setting some very clear boundaries and holding them that the other person will actually start to get help. If I'm enabling or I'm not addressing it or I'm afraid of what to say because they'll fly off the handle, or we hear this all the time, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, that actually negatively reinforces the behavior. So we really want to be clear of, if I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, to sit down before ahead of time to get my thoughts out. Okay, what is it that I want to say? Where am I hurting? What is my desire? What am I wanting? What is my ask? So by asking yourself these questions, you can go and write it out to get clear on what you want to go over, what you want to say to address it, and then you can engage in that conversation. Now, if you do need help having that conversation, it's something that we've been doing for coming up on a quarter of a century. We can help with that conversation, and all you need to do is just let us know, and we can help walk you through it.